always nice. Doing some chit-chatting here, awaiting the camera to be adjusted so I know if it's good or not. I'm lagging in the YouTube video with like 30 seconds. Yeah, I think we can live with this. And you know what that means? That means we're getting started with this weekly evaluation. As always, it is divided in 2 parts. First, we're gonna go through this week of rejection therapy. You know, just sum it up a little bit, what I've been through, what's my main conclusions, and such. Gonna try to make it quite short before moving on to the second part of this live stream, which is the individual weekly goal evaluation. That means you and me work on our own, looking back at the week, what has happened, what have we done, how have we been progressing towards our goals, because we need goals in life to progress. It is as simple as that. Otherwise, we'll just go on random, be reactive, end up with it wherever we end up, and we don't want to be that. We want to be decisive. We want to have a clear path, as clear as it can be in context to where we are right now. And so the weekly evaluation is about elevating yourself from your current position, looking at yourself, what you have been doing, your actions, your goals, and see if you're doing what needs to be done, or maybe you need to put in some extra effort in one area, or maybe you need to adjust your goals. I don't know, but if you don't look, you don't know, and that's what the weekly evaluation is all about. So firstly, we're gonna go through the rejection therapy week number 3 challenge, which I actually just finished up with the last challenge. I'll tell you about that later. But so first, what is rejection therapy? It is putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation where you are likely to get a no. Why do we do that? Well, it's twofold. It has 2 purposes. You want to get used to a rejection. You want to get used to having that no thrown in your face. Why is that good? Well, it's because we are gonna get rejected throughout life in so many situations. And the original state, or we fear that. So we prevent ourselves from putting ourselves in that situation because it creates so much turmoil, so much shitty emotions within us. So we protect ourselves from going into those situations. However, those situations are also the things that will make us progress in life, take us to those new places, make us experience things, feelings, emotions, happenings that are just out of this world. Because the magic comes when we step out of our comfort zone. And often that requires walking through a no or 10 no's. But if we desensitize ourselves, getting used to taking these no's, that means we have an easier path. That means we have easier to get to those magic moments. It means we have set ourselves up for success in a better way. I'm grasping for words here. I lost my flow, but I think you get the idea. If you're not afraid of taking a no or 2, if you're not afraid of making those approaches, taking those hard conversations, you can dare to ask things you really want to, because this is also about following your heart, and that's where the self-esteem building action comes into this. That's how they intervene. We are going after the things we want, and that is when we are building self-esteem. And there is so much power in that. So that is why we are doing these rejection therapy challenges. and it's great fun. It's really not so fun at times. Oh boy, it's really not fun at times. But when you get through, boy, is it worth it. Because you have to realize that before you get to this state of being comfortable, you really have to be uncomfortable a lot of times. And that's what I've been learning. That is what I'm learning for every time I do these rejection therapy challenges. I grow. I feel the self-esteem, the confidence. It's just, I almost physically feel how it grows within me. And to jump straight away to the thing I did today, the rejection therapy challenge, which I haven't posted yet. I will post that after this. I really felt that because today's challenge was about, or is about, sharing my content, posting on Instagram and Facebook, because I really fear to do that. Sharing my stuff, what I create, it really is. I've realized that I fear that the most, what people think of me. For a long time I just told myself, well, I don't do that because it's not my audience. I don't want to reach those people anyways, the people that are my friends or know who I am. It's much more, it's not so uncomfortable to put it out to people I don't know the faces of. But what I realized after last week's self-acceptance challenge was that I truly fear what other people think of me. So today's challenge is to do a repost of my videos from this week on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. Just to push myself to those moments where you understand why I want to do this. I want to share my stuff here. But so while I was recording this video downtown earlier today, I thought that, that's all I'm gonna do. That's today's challenge. But so when I was riding in the escalator, there was a cute girl walking by, and I just got caught in the moment. Really just inspired to go after her and start to talk to her, because usually that's not something I would do. But now when I've lowered my barrier for what I dare to do, when I've started to approach people, go after the things I want to do, that all of a sudden was a plausible action. I considered for 2 seconds, and then I thought to myself, why shouldn't I? It's something I want to do. I've proven to myself that I have the confidence to do it. Go for it, Alex. She was really good looking. I mean, what could happen? So that's what I did. I went for it. I just stalked her for a couple of 100 meters and then totally crashed and burned because I failed miserably. But it was fun. I went up to her, told her she was beautiful, asked for a hug actually, because I blanked out. What am I going to say? So what came out of me was, I just wondered if you want to give me a hug, which is super weird and not strategic at all. But I did it, and I proved to myself once again that I can do this. And every time I do these challenges, I keep proving myself I can do this. And I do the connection now. In the beginning, the anxiety was greater. I didn't have a clear idea of how the outcome would feel. But now I know it's always the same feeling on the other side of that really hard thing I need to do. And when I've started to taste this great feeling on the other side, I know before doing the action that whatever I need to do, what's on the other side is worth so much more. So I've started to create this habit with the reward on the other side that throws the shitty piece of this action aside. It's like they're uncomparable in weight. What you gain is so much greater. And that is the main conclusion of the week, in some sense, that it's clear that this is the case, and I feel it. I feel it so strongly. And you need to do this if you want to increase your self-esteem. Because again, this is about self-esteem. This is about going after what you want, following your heart. And that is what self-esteem is all about. And now when I am, you, we are doing this parallel with the book we're reading, the 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem, when we can intervene these really actionable things with the theoretical parts, it's powerful. It really is. The self-acceptance pillar from last week, the consciousness pillar from 3 weeks ago, and you focus in and understand these fundamental pieces, it all comes together. It really does. Because I also applied the self-acceptance in the moment when I was going to approach the cute girl I talked to. Not today, it was Tuesday. I started to talk to myself. I accepted, like, yeah, I really feel like shit right now. But it's okay, Alex. I went into the best friend myself talk, because that is a key thing in developing self-esteem as well. Alex, you can do this. It's alright. I know you feel shitty, but you know, if you push through, it's worth it. Go for it. So just how I start to use these tools, how I understand the different concepts in how to build self-esteem. It's hard to talk about this in detail. It is a long process that you need to go through. You can't do this in 1 week. You can't just do one thing and then expect it all to just happen magically. We need this intensified focus on the small parts, one pillar at a time, one action at a time. But it all comes together more and more. That's why you have to build self-esteem with the right amount of input, effort. If you want this, and trust me, you do want this. My life is starting to change on a level I could never anticipate. What we've been doing since this year started, the focus of self-esteem, I'm more and more certain that self-esteem is the number one thing we can do to become happier in life. Yeah. I'm not gonna drag this out for longer. It's more personal feelings right now, I guess. But I'm excited about this. I'm not excited. I'm stifled. I'm speechless. Goddamn speechless. So just the 2 bottom and top moment, the perfect avocado and the rotten avocado of the week. I have to say that the perfect avocado was after I did the video interviews with the camera, walking up to people, because I really felt the possibilities that it opened up when I was done. In this case, it wasn't only the kick of doing the thing, like, oh yeah, I did it, good job, but the doors that opened up after, like, yeah, I can develop my channel now in different areas. If I start to get used to this, I can maybe do interviews with real knowledgeable people. I just started to see great new possibilities, and that was a nice feeling. A little bit like watching a nice scenery. You don't have the words for it, but you just feel the greatness of it. Maybe it's a weird comparison, but yeah, it was a good feeling. And the worst moment, I have to say, was, wait, I wrote this down. Yeah, as always, how could I forget? It was when I had been walking around prior to doing these interviews and just feeling like shit, truly like shit. But the problem there was mainly that I hadn't determined before going out what to do. It was like unclear. I didn't have a clear plan. And that also is the learning of the week, that you need to be clear in your direction, whether it's on a high level or on a low level. If there isn't clarity, if you don't know what you're doing, why you're doing it, you will waste so much energy just because you don't know. And that's pointless. That's freaking pointless. Pointless. Let's close this chapter down, the rejection therapy week number 3, and let's move on to you know what. The individual goal weekly evaluation. Yep, you heard me right. For me, that means going through my week, and I have a table that I use throughout the week where I have all my goals and habits and like small little squares where I fill in everything. I have goal areas, 7 different goal areas where I have specified different goals in, and all these areas come up here in different colors. So for instance, 7 here, this is where I write in all my top moments of the day, because for every day there's a new column and I write in different stuff. And I also do the journaling here throughout the day, where I do social interactions, reflections, when I push myself, when I just take in how I'm feeling, to be conscious, which we have been talking about in context to the book, The 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem. Just check in on yourself. How am I feeling? What are my emotions right now? In what context am I feeling this? What could this be related to, and such on. So I'm just saying, this is how I do my weekly evaluation. Since I have a very clearly outlined way of measuring, logging myself throughout the week, I just go through what has been happening, how I've been working on my habits, my small goals, my big goals, like daily meditation. I check that off here to see that I make that happen and how I feel in context to that. And today now I go through it, I reflect upon it, I read through my reflections again and see it from a new perspective. I also see if there's things that I'm not focusing in on. Have I missed something? Just analyzing, evaluating, and then tweaking, changing. Is there something that needs to be changed to next week? Is there something here that just takes up space that doesn't need to be there? But it doesn't need to look like this. A weekly evaluation for you could just be sitting down and very briefly look through the week. What happened? How I've been working on my goals? What specific actions did I do? What was the greatest moment of the week? What were the big learnings? And if you want a clearer guide for how to do this, there's some links there in the comments, the description, where you could follow some other people's guides. I've tried out different things, and my way is a bit of a compilation of different stuff which I have landed in, and something that really works well for me. And if you want to do it my way, there's a description there as well. So why not just dig into it? It's time for that. It really is. Because a weekly evaluation, well, for me it takes a couple of hours. I have so much stuff to go through, but the ideas, or not the ideas, the previous experience that I have from my weekly evaluation is that what I gain from this time input is so much more than I put into it. I invest 2 hours, I get back I don't know how many hours. That is in the unit of growth, personal growth, clarity, focus. Let's do this. I'm excited for the weekly evaluation. Maybe I should create a weekly evaluation theme song. That could be awesome. Awesome. I do have a nice Friday energy today, and I think it's due to this weekly rejection therapy challenge. I'm telling you, when I do this, these weeks, it's the third week, the energy level just go up the roof. And that is even though I sleep like so little hours throughout these weeks. Yep, sorry for getting off topic. Gonna make some noises now when I remove the mic, but don't let that scare you. Need some tea. And a bigger mouse pad. It's a bit crowded here with the camera. Takes time to heat up this big jar of chocolate tea.